Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Soul and Screen. In this particular video, I am going to be discussing a picture that came out in regards to possibly tonight's episode of Tyler Perry's Sistas. So let's just get into it. There was a post that I guess they did on the Sistas page and Instagram where it shows various scenes. Again, I'm not sure if it's going to be for tonight because we do know that they have been pretty notorious about showing various scenes that don't always end up being in tonight's episode or the, that night episode of that particular viewing. Sometimes it ends up being like the next week's episode and stuff like that. So anyway, but if it is tonight, it does look like the picture that I'm going to be talking about is really just the picture where Chaz and Zach both are at Fatima's. In this particular picture, it looks like Zach is again in Fatima's face, but I will say it doesn't look like he's yelling this time. He doesn't look like he's like mad. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully he's not yelling in her face again. But what I do want to talk about is in the last episode, he did kind of tell Fatima, like, I don't want to hear about this dude no more. But my thing is this, Zach, I don't know if he's about to come up there and have an issue with her meeting with him, because, again, this is her client. And I'm actually really hoping that Zach is not on one so much that he expects her not to talk and meet with her client. Like, there is no way that she's not going to see him or work with him again. You're right. You know what I mean? Like, that's really unrealistic thinking for Zach. And Zach, considering he's supposed to be a businessman, and even though Zatima is supposedly 6 months ahead, he still understands business because he's done business deals. So to expect Fatima not to have any type of interaction with her client because you're jealous and because he flirted with Fatima is just, that's not going to happen, Zach. And so, I do think it looks like because he's been in his feelings and basically kind of what he's been doing based off of that. My thought process is that he's going to come up to the job knowing and kind of expecting that Chaz is going to come up there, because he kind of already told Fatima, like, dudes like him don't back down or something like that at one point. And so even though Fatima did explain to Chaz that she's not interested in him or anything like that, that we are just client and you're just my client. He, again, depending on what he has going on, will have to interact with Fatima. So him not seeing Fatima and Zach kind of going up there and seeming to possibly get into, a conversation or interrupting the meeting. And I'm not sure if it's Chaz walking in or if Zach interrupted the meeting, you know what I mean? Because it actually looks like Zach is in the boardroom with Fatima and Chaz is at the door. So it may be possible that Fatima, Zach came up to the job hoping to apologize, in all honesty, but Chaz comes in, and that probably does bring some friction to and the conversation that we saw in last week's clip of where he's telling Fatima, now you kind of moving like I'm not, SHIT and all that kind of stuff. And so, but again, I think for him to think that, she's not going to have any interaction with Chaz anymore, or that she's supposed to stop like working for him just because he flirted. And yeah, he was out of pocket, but she corrected it. And as long as he doesn't overstep again, there would be no reason for her to stop, working for him. He's a client. And so I'm honestly interested in, seeing how that's going to play out. But that's actually the only picture that I wanted to discuss, but I just thought I'd jump in really quick before the episode airs, just to kind of say what I think may happen, which again is either Zach coming to Fatima again. I'm hoping maybe that he's apologizing, and maybe Chaz comes in, and then that kind of sparks things up again, maybe. But still, all this is really about Zach being jealous And Zach knowing that he's been treating Fatima like crap, and he just needs to apologize and work through his stuff. So anyway, let me know what you think. That's kind of where I am tonight. I will do a recap on the episode either tomorrow or a review on the episode tomorrow. But in the meantime, you guys have a good night. Bye.